Hey guys, and welcome to your updates on a very stormy and very wet September 27th, 2023. So our satellite shows some quite intense storms flashing away towards Mexico, the USA, and also down towards Africa and Europe as well. I can't see where that is exactly because it's dark. But anyway, the main focus is Agnes, and that is now clearing towards Scotland. It's centered towards the west of Scotland, the Malin Sea, and it is now going to continue to move away to the north, dragging its wind and rain with it. The radar shows that quite nicely. This area of intense rain is moving away northwards. So, the radar from today was like this. So, 9:30 a.m. We have heavy rain, pretty much swamping all areas apart from the far northeast of Ireland. This rain kept going northwards. This area here, just clipping the coast of Wexford, did give me some bursts of torrential rain. The rain was really quite unbelievable. Just suddenly really did chuck it down quite violently. Also, do notice that this area here, sort of a fragmented school line. This area here, school line down towards Cork as well. And this school line did advance northwards and eastwards into the afternoon. This school line area here dying away briefly before reinvigorating into midday, and this school line just formed further south as well, and it pushed over Ireland. Meanwhile, this heavy wedge of rain continued over Ulster and Leinster before slowly trying to ease off. And look, the school line by 1 p.m. was over the Midlands, down towards Waterford, and down towards the Celtic Sea. Now they move towards Wexford and also towards the East and North Midlands, while the very heavy rain stays over Ulster, and this batch of rain from the occlusion pushes into Munster by 1:30 p.m. This is I find this feature quite interesting because a school line is like a line, just one line of intense rain and gusty winds. This school line was like several lines of intense rain and gusty winds. Like, look, here is the area, line here, line. This line hit me, by the way, as it went northwards towards the coast. That line missed me, then that line. That was a strange system. Anyway, this area of rain cleared from Ulster before this came in, and then this inclusion over Munster packed some very strong winds with that. Also, very strong winds, very stormy and gusty ahead of the school line, and also during it. As we go forward, the strangeness of the school line really then starts to emerge. You got this more straightforward area here, then this section, then that section, that hit me earlier, that today, now over Northern Ireland by 4 p.m. That section. If anyone knows why this happened, please do let me know, because this is quite a strange feature, I think. But I think it still does count as a school line. Sorry guys, I'm rambling, but I'm simply curious. Also, we do have this occlusion pushing into the west. Eventually, this strange feature clears the north of the country, and that occlusion comes through, bringing very strong winds on this rain as well, especially towards the southern extent of the rain, closer to the strongest flank of winds. And this evening, rain turned heavy over Ulster again, and it gradually moved away towards Scotland, and now it's basically clearing from Antrim, leaving quite a dry night but it's still quite breezy in several places. Just to go through the impacts of Agnes. So first of all, obviously the heavy rain caused flooding in a few areas, especially in southern counties. Winds in Cortown, we had waves crashing over the pier. Also in areas of Cork and Kerry, that was a problem. Also, I think it was in Yole, I think, that a roof partially came off, several trees down, especially again in those southern counties, several power outages, especially in the south, east, and Midlands, and just in general, a rough day was had over Ireland. Those are the impacts that I saw on the news. Anyway, this is the UKV 5-day forecast. So you can see Storm Agnes with its very strange feature of squally rain. That clears for Scotland tonight and decays to leave quite a dry night, but it'll stay breezy, especially for the early part of the night. Off into tomorrow, we see a scoreline. This is what I mean by a more simple scoreline. It's just simply a line that, that just moves in one direction. Not like that strange feature we saw earlier. Anyway, going off, that was a very strange occurrence actually. I know I'm rambling, but I am just curious. And if anyone knows, please do comment down below on what caused that feature. Anyway, this whole batch clears off into the Irish Sea and the UK into Thursday night, Friday morning, and into Friday we see a day of showers and sunshine. Showers not too heavy and should be quite scattered, so we'll see some long spells of sunshine. Into Saturday we see a front coming again with an area of low pressure. Heavy rain, especially towards the south of the country. Saturday afternoon, a bit lighter further north for a time before it clears away to the east, and we go off into Sunday, and it's a showery day with a cluster of showers there in the afternoon for the Midlands and the east, especially into the evening and night there. We see some dry weather before on Monday. Some rain does try and weasel its way into the southeast for a time before clearing away, and 3 p.m. Monday that clears off and some downpours form in the west. Temperatures, so all pretty much averagey, I'd say, so we'll just whiz through this. Tonight lowest temperatures average 10 to 13 degrees, coolest in the east and the Midlands. Tomorrow we will see temperatures getting, where it's not raining and there's more sunshine, 16 or 17 degrees, but under rain, low teens. Into Friday morning, we see lowest temperatures of a cool 9 or 10 degrees in the east and southeast. For the west and northwest, 10 to 12. Into Friday, highest temperatures 3 p.m. There we go, about 15 to 17 degrees. Warmest in the southeast corner of Ireland, coolest as ever in the west and north. Into Saturday morning, so we see quite a cold night under clearer skies. It does get milder over Munster by 6 a.m. due to the arrival of that system. So lowest temperatures between about 6 and 10 degrees. And we go into Saturday and temperatures 3 p.m. 10 degrees to 13 degrees over most areas, but in Munster 14 to 16 degrees. And by 6 p.m. these temperatures do move over Munster, South Connacht, and South Leinster. So it goes warmer than high teens, so very warm actually, especially for night time, especially for 9 p.m. on September 30th. Long nights, you would think that this would be quite hard to achieve. Either way, by Sunday at 6 a.m, we're cooler. Anyway, into Sunday, 15 to 17 degrees, warmest in the south. Into Monday, 9 to 11 degrees. Lowest temperatures, by the way, coolest in the east and northeast. And 3 p.m. Monday. And that rain, that front in the southeast, dismal. 11 degrees compared to 15 or 16 further west in any sunshine. The NAO index, again, does show that more neutral to positive bump towards the end of the run, towards the 10th of the month or so. So this does show that the Azores line will be more present. It'll be trying to establish itself, as you'll see with the models soon, but it will struggle. So this is the GFS. So you can see that we see this little low coming tomorrow, bringing some more rain. Friday sees that ridge, you see, first attempts trying to ridge in before this low comes in for Saturday, bringing that rain. Into Sunday, we see the high pressure trying to just nudge in from the south, but as ever, that low to the north is a bit too strong to allow that. Into Wednesday next week, we see that high to the south pretty much touching our shores, bringing mostly dry weather, but quite cloudy skies, I think. But then towards next Friday, guess what? The low comes in. And actually after that, we do get quite a very, a bit of a deluge there, I think. But the high pressure is trying to ridge in from the east briefly. That deep low, very, very autumnal low, on the 11th towards Scotland, we get a bit of a northerly bite on the 12th before the high pressure centers just to our south on the 13th, bringing dry and mild weather. I accidentally went to the UK Met run there, but it's fine. So you can see that the high pressure was trying multiple times to get established, and this does reflect that positive NAO, that more positive NAO compared to now. Anyway, so tomorrow's low brings some more rain. Friday's ridge dries things out before Saturday's low brings more rain. Sunday, we sort of between the high and the low, so a bit showery. Monday sees a trough come in, that brings some more rain, especially possibly to the southeast. And then on Tuesday, guess what? The ridge is trying to come back, but is that low too strong for us? But at that minute on that run, it actually looks pretty stable. This is the ECM, so we can see that's the ridge on Friday brings its niceness, or Saturday even, but late Saturday that low does swallow the party. Into Monday, we see that next trough coming through. Into Tuesday, we see that ridge just tentatively trying to influence us, not really making a big effort on that run, because it's very soon shutters away to allow room for next areas of low pressure. This is the GEM. Okay, so let's see what happens. That low, so basically trough, ridge, but the ridge is desperately, I think, trying to establish itself. Look at that there. Wednesday, it's trying to ridge northwards, and it does succeed briefly before the Atlantic does break through on the 7th. The icon, and as I keep saying, the NAO and their weather are closely related. This is why I always show that graph, because it really does make sense if you know what it means. Into Friday, we see that little trough come through briefly in the morning. No, sorry, Thursday that trough comes through. Friday, the ridge comes to Friday. The trough on Saturday. Sunday is a bit of a strange day. Monday sees a trough. Tuesday sees the ridge. Wednesday sees the ridge. Thursday sees a trough. It's it's basically a battleground between the high to the south and low to the north. There's not really one factor that's really dominating full time. It's either one day it's one of them, next day it's the other. So we're on for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.